I'm sure we'd all like to go back in time and do something or not do something, but the grandpa time travel paradox is much different and sort of confusing if we're being real. The story basically goes like this. Imagine you invent a time machine and decide to go travel back in time. For some reason, you want to prevent your grandpa and grandma from ever meeting each other, or even remove him from the earth before he meets your grandma. If your grandparents never met because you removed him, he wouldn't have your dad and you wouldn't be born. And if you weren't born, you couldn't have removed your grandpa. So they would meet and have your dad and you would be born and then remove him again. And then remove him again. So you wouldn't be born again. It goes in around and around in cycle, which is why it's called the grandpa time travel paradox. Do you get the idea? Simple yet confusing. Anyway, you'd probably think there's no answers to the question, but I have 4.5.5 answers that I'll share with you today. The 0.5.5 are just half answers that don't really count. The first theory suggests that something would interfere with you trying to take out your grandpa. Something goes in your eye at just the right time, or something happens to make you late, or you get lost before you even find him. Something messes up your plan so the timeline can go on like it was before you time traveled. Now, realistically, even if you somehow found or built a time machine to go back to the past, and I don't know why you want to take out your grandpa, but what's the actual likelihood this would happen? This would just prove that there's greater power, because every time you would try, something happens. What if you got other people to do it for you? People that are from the grandpa's timeline. Would the same thing still happen? Would they trip and fall when trying? Or get a fly in the eye when aiming at the target? Anyway, let's move on. Theory 2. The second theory suggests if you try to go back in time to kill your grandpa, you'll go to another reality, and everything you do will have a separate ending in another universe. It says whatever you try to do, that will happen in another reality. Same life, but different ending, depending on what you do. It wouldn't affect your current timeline, though. This option is boring, as it doesn't actually answer the actual paradox, but instead just finds a way around answering the question. Let's move on. This theory suggests that any attempts to change the past cannot be done because it's already happened, and those events have already happened. When you try to go back in time before your grandpa and grandma met, they've technically already married. It's already happened. Even if you try to stop an event from happening, you accidentally cause it to happen. There's literally no way to stop these events from happening. If it happens in the future, it'll happen, even if someone goes into the past and tries to stop. This theory doesn't specify how the person can't stuff up the future. Is it like the first theory when something goes in your eye? Or you forget to put something and be late? I'm not sure about the answers to these questions, but let's move on. Theory 4. It's just a huge cycle that keeps repeating itself. You may steal a cancer cure, go back in time to give it to your childhood friend for publicity, but then that person you stole from was actually your childhood friend when you guys stopped talking. Or you invent a time machine because you read about it in a lost notebook. Then you travel back in time to leave the notebook for your past self to find. So you steal from the person you gave it to, give it to the same person, and again and again. Theory 4.5. Since humans don't fully know or understand everything to do with time travel and the possibilities, something will stop the paradox, or something along those lines. There's not much to this one, so that's why it's 0.5 theory. Theory 4.5.5. There's no such thing as time travel, and Stephen Hawking said this one. Doesn't answer the question, so let's just ignore this one. That's why we put it at 0.5. And those are the possibilities and answers for the grandpa time travel paradox. In summary, 1. Something will interfere with you, like a spider makes you jump and miss the bullet. 2. When you go back in time and try to interfere with anything, it just affects another timeline, not yours. 3. The events already happened, so if you try to go back before they happen, it's scheduled to happen, so you can't interfere. 4. It's just a huge cycle. 5. Something will stop the paradox. 6. There's no such thing as time travel. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe so I can invent a time machine.